Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another video. We're bringing you here today talking about Dragon Ball Super and giving our 10 things that we want to see happen in the future Trunks arc. But to join me in this video today, someone you're all familiar with by now, and his name is...
Hey guys, what's up? It's Josh from Dragon Ball Nation here.
And there's a lot of stuff that we want to see, 10 things in fact, that we're going to be talking about. Each of us has 5, as you know the drill by now. And after you're done with this video, don't forget to go check out the 10 things that we don't want to see in the future Trunks arc over on Josh's channel. But before that, let's get into things we actually want to see. So Josh, what is the first thing you want to see in this future Trunks arc?
Honestly, the big thing, and I think it's something that hopefully will be captured in this arc, is some real emotion. It's not something we've really seen in Dragon Ball Super thus far, and we did get, some emotion in this last episode, episode 47, but I want to see more of that really capitalized on and more of the destruction that this new villain, Black Goku, can really dish out.
Absolutely. It's going to be really interesting to see how they expand upon the elements they've already introduced in the first episode, but I hope we definitely get a lot of emotion to go along with it. But speaking of those elements, the first thing that I want to see would have to be the Makai Ocean and kind of talking about them in general. We did see some kind of green-skinned Kai in the opening for the newest episode of Dragon Ball Super and this newest Future Trunks arc, and we don't really know who that is. Maybe it's a Makai Ocean, but I really want to see more about them, and I hope that they're tied into this in some way, and everyone wants to talk about that earring that Goku has on his ear. Maybe it's connected, or maybe he'd just like to wear Chi-Chi's earrings. Who really knows? They all look very similar.
I mean, that Kai definitely has something to do with this arc. I feel like just because of the visualization of him in this new intro we have that has Mai, Trunks, and Black Goku, and this new Kai, I think he's gonna have some significance.
It's very likely. So what is your next thing you want to see?
For the next one I have is really getting more of the Omni King and maybe seeing his power actually demonstrated rather than us just hearing about it as sort of this, mythical type of thing that we just hear of but don't actually see. Yes, Beerus and Whis talk about his power, but I really want to see it utilized. And we know from what the previews and the summaries have said in Toriyama that the Omni King's going to be involved in this arc.
Yeah, and that really would be cool to see him actually in action, so to speak, even though they say he doesn't fight. But it'd be cool to see him actually involved in a significant way, because how many fictional universes do you have where the literal god of the universe is involved in the story? Not very much. But that ties into also what I want to talk about, and that is the more expansion of the god lore and god mythology in Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball does have this mythology with the gods of destruction, the Kaioshin, the Makai Ocean, and now this Omni King, this king of all things. So it'd be really cool for them to continue expanding upon it, talk about the other gods, because in the first arc of the manga, in the second arc of Dragon Ball Super in the Resurrection F arc, we did get to see Champa, and we got to see him being foreshadowed, so I'd like them to foreshadow these other gods a little bit. They kind of did that in the first episode, although I thought that was kind of unnecessary the way they did it, but I would like to see maybe, hints of these other gods coming, or, seeing glimpses of them at some point during this arc. That's something I really want to see so we could set up the next coming arc, which I assume is the ultimate Omniversal Tournament arc.
Right, I agree, and I really don't have anything to add to that point, to be quite honest. Pretty much knocked your thing out apart. All I could say is I'd be very excited to see that type of thing happen.
Yeah, so what is your next thing that you would like to see?
For me, I think a use of the Super Dragon Balls, and I mean, this is spoilers for episode 47, but who hasn't seen that at this point? You're watching this video, you should probably have seen it already, but I expect some more significance of the Super Dragon Ball. We got that one wish, and then the dragon was gone. I don't expect the dragon to never come back in Super again. He has to be used again, I feel like, and I feel like a way maybe this could be used is to maybe, since it's across timelines, I figure, Super Dragon Balls can be used to make any wish, really.
Yeah.
Bring back Bulma and Mai and maybe even Trunks' entire Earth. Honestly, that's the way I see it.
And they seem to have the power to do literally anything, so realistically, I think that they could, in fact, be used to bring back people there. I still don't understand why they didn't just go to New Namek, but, let's pretend that doesn't exist, just like King Kai.
It's never going to be answered.
But another thing I really want to see happen and be utilized, like those Super Dragon Balls, is Gohan. Now, Gohan was not utilized at all in the last arc. They had him train only to say, oh, I have to go to some meeting that he didn't even end up up taking the job for. So I really want to see Gohan end up being utilized in a good way as a real main character in this. He doesn't have to be the main character, but if he's put, on a similar level to the other ones in terms of relevance, I think that would be really important and definitely something that would matter, because when Trunks left the main timeline, Gohan was the most powerful character, and now he's not. So at least involving him in the story in a substantive way is something I truly want to see as a Gohan fan.
No, and I think it makes sense, because obviously he is training, we've seen it. They wouldn't show all that stuff for no reason. Whether it's going to happen in this arc or the next arc, who knows? But I'd like to see that happen in this arc, have him have relevance, but we'll have to wait and see. But for my next one, not just to say it's like fan service or anything, but I'd like to see some form of Super Saiyan Blue Trunks or some sort of God-powered Trunks. It sounds crazy, especially coming from me. I don't usually talk about stuff like this, but I feel like it would be important to give Trunks that type of boost, especially to protect his own timeline if he, of course, does go back there. And, we know that Vegeta unlocked this with the Whis training. Trunks would struggle more with that, I feel like, but I feel like that would be an important thing, and it's not completely impossible for it to happen, honestly.
Yeah, I would like to see that as well, because, he already has the blue hair, so we already know he's a Super Saiyan Blue, Josh, and everyone's going to take this seriously. But I would like to see him be placed on the same level. I want to see Gohan be a Super Saiyan Blue, too, Make Piccolo a Super Saiyan Blue, too, have him wish on the dragon, just like Krillin did in Dragon Ball AF or whatever it was, and say, can I be a dragon?
Don't bring up AF, please.
And, it would be nice to see other characters just be relevant and on that God tier as well. I don't care if they power them up if people think it's ridiculous. It's Dragon Ball. All I care about is the characters and how they're used. But that actually ties into what I have to say next, and a lot of these kind of tie into one another on my list. I've noticed there is a theme, because I love characters and how they're used, and, these characters really have a lot of fans, so I'd love to see all of the characters be on the same level, not just in terms of relevance, but in power. Because realistically, when only one character can beat the main villain, and then a lot of times they lose in terms of Goku and Dragon Ball Super thus far, it kind of gets boring. Do we want to see the same thing over and over again? Some people really do. I definitely think that's fine that Goku fans want to see it. I've always been a fan of Goku as well. He's one of my favorite characters in the show, but I want to see other characters maybe team up with Goku to defeat the main villain. If Goku and Gohan and Vegeta or Trunks teamed up together to beat them, I would have so much more investment, be far more enjoying the process than if Goku just got Kaioken times 20 Super Saiyan God White and beat him, that's essentially what I don't want to see, but, we'll talk about that in my what we don't want to see list over on your channel.
Right, and I agree with what you said. I think that characters that would make sense to get up in strength, obviously not characters like Krillin or Yamcha or even Tien, quite frankly. People need to understand those characters are kind of lost, and that's just kind of how it has to be with the characters getting so strong. I feel like it'd be forced if they got power-ups, but Piccolo and other Saiyans, it makes sense. But for my next one, it's maybe a little bit of a stretch, but we got that hinted at with Kibito and the Supreme Kai maybe defusing. Still not obviously a confirmation that Vegeta would return, but I would like to see the fusion of Goku and Vegeta return in some aspect. Maybe to fight off Black or, Black Goku, whichever you prefer to call him. It would be nice to see that if they even need to go to that level, of course. Who knows, maybe Goku's gonna come in here and wipe out Black right away, or Vegeta will. I don't really know, but I really want to see a fusion between them come back in this arc, or at least at some point in Super, please.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see another fusion in the show, and they had Kibito and Supreme Kai defuse, just as you said, so I would definitely like to see them refuse, or maybe some other characters refuse, maybe Gohan and Future Trunks. Dun dun dun!
I don't share that opinion, but you can go on.
But anyway, my last thing that I really want to see happen, again, and I kind of hinted at this in my most recent one, is I want to see someone other than Goku defeat the main villain. Now, technically, I guess you could say in some ways Monaka defeated the main villain in the last arc, but we all know that that was bullshit. So I really want to see someone like Future Trunks defeat the main villain. After all, this is Future Trunks' main villain anyway. This is someone who's terrorizing his future. So I would want him or Gohan or some other character, maybe even Vegeta, to defeat him so that they can, build up their character in a more substantive way, and it will have a more emotional payoff, because Goku isn't really attached to this character other than, it's an evil Goku. It's an evil version of him. He's not the one who's murdered all of Trunks' family. He's not the one who led to to the death and destruction of Trunks' future timeline, so Goku is just kind of a non-partial character out there in the middle of nowhere, so I'd much prefer someone else to defeat him as opposed to, say, just Goku beating him 1, 2, 3.
Well, Goku's my favorite character, so I mean, I can't exactly share the same opinion as you, but, you know, if someone else gets the final blow or whatever, you know, it's okay by me, but again, if it's, you know, fusion related, then that, I think, could be even cooler.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with Goku as the main character in general, as a lot of people seem to think I do. I don't really have a problem with Goku defeating a main villain, but I feel like in this case, it's time for someone else to do it, because in Super so far, it's either been that no one defeats the main villain, or Goku does. So, ultimately...
Or Monaka.
Yeah, or Monaka. I mean, I still kind of count that as no one, because who's Monaka anyway? He's just some delivery boy. But anyway, this has been our 10 things that we really wanted to see happen in the future Trunks arc of Dragon Ball Super. Don't forget to check out Josh's video where he tells us the 10 things that we don't want to see, which I'm also on. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Do it now. What do you wait?
Do it now, you puny man. Who cares about the universe 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
Blah.
Half the universe of biceps. No.